If you ever needed an example of just how evil Diddy was or how capable he was of ruining somebody's life, all you need to do is look back at what he did to his own artist, Shine. Back in 1998, Shine was freestyling in a barbershop when he was overheard by a producer who worked for Bad Boy Records. This producer saw how talented Shine was, so he scooped him up and immediately brought him to Diddy. Shine went ahead and spit a few bars.
All I got in this world is my flip and honor. Gangsta mannerism, lyrical vandalism. Cowards be burning up on the gums until them hammers hit them.
And Diddy quite literally signed him right then on the spot. And after signing with Bad Boy, Shine's life absolutely changed overnight. He went from being flat broke and sleeping on his mother's couch to Diddy giving him a bank card that accessed an account with millions of dollars in it. Then Diddy went ahead and gave him 3 cars and a mansion in Beverly Hills. Now it's important to note that Diddy was flooding Shine with all these awesome things to distract Shine from the fact that he had just signed a god-awful contract, which by this point was par for the course when it came to Diddy.
But that's none of my business.
Diddy would rapidly put Shine to work and rush him into the studio so he could feature on other artists' songs, just as a way to go ahead and get his name out there as Bad Boy's newest artist.
Plus I'm a bad boy, more like a bad man. Put more niggas in pits than Brad, man. Can't dodge bullets, too bad, man.
And of course they would go ahead and get to work on what would later become his self-titled album, Shine. But everything would fall apart on the night of December 27th, 1999, when Shine, Diddy, and Diddy's girlfriend Jennifer Lopez went to a popular Times Square nightclub to celebrate the upcoming release of Shine's album. And at first everything was good and everyone was having a fantastic time. But things would go sideways when Diddy and another person bumped into each other, causing this person to spill his drink on Diddy's shoes. And of course Diddy would see this as an insult, then completely lost his mind, causing an altercation to ensue. And the person Diddy just so happened to bump into wasn't just some average dude. He was the infamous New York City gangster Matthew Scar Allen. And Matthew Scar Allen was a legitimate killer. He was the last person you would want to insult for any reason, aside from punching your ticket to an express trip to meeting Jesus. Then just a few seconds after this altercation began, Diddy, Shine, and Matthew Allen all pulled out firearms and a shootout in the nightclub erupted. Then Diddy, Shine, and J-Lo would flee the scene in an SUV that would be stopped by police not too far from the nightclub. The police searched the vehicle and found a firearm hidden inside. Then all 3, Diddy, Shine, and J-Lo, were taken in for questioning. And immediately after being arrested, Diddy would begin distancing himself from any involvement whatsoever with Shine. Then J-Lo would be released pretty quickly because it was clear she didn't have any involvement, but things for Diddy and Shine were not going to be as smooth. Diddy would rapidly lawyer up, and as soon as he was out on bail, began cutting ties between Bad Boy Records and Shine. Not only that, but Diddy cut off all financial resources Shine had been receiving from Bad Boy, making it impossible for him to hire adequate legal representation. In other words, Diddy was able to hire the best of the best legal representation for himself, but Shine had to settle for court-appointed attorneys. And of course, Diddy's defense strategy was to put all the blame on Shine, painting this picture of Shine as some violent thug while at the same time making Diddy look like an angel. And as the court proceedings began, things would get better and better for Diddy while at the same time getting worse and worse for Shine.
Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade? I'm facing 25 years, and you looking at probation.
Just, you know, I'm in my bag right now, crazy. I got my brother here. Y'all see him, the leader of opposition in Belize, my brother Shine. We'll be getting to that later, but I'm not a hater though. I'm not a hater. I'm a connoisseur of fly shit. And I'm just telling y'all getting tricked by the Richard Mille. The Richard Mille is like a Timex or some shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, it's not hot. It's not hot. It's not hot. I have like 2 or 3. I never pull them out. They ugly. I don't even want to hate. I don't even know Richard Mille. But fuck you. I'm on some black shit. Black man, save your money and go.
I made a choice not to cooperate with the district attorney. That deserves gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're not guys like me anymore. You look at Tekashi, everybody telling me.
They folded.
Everybody's telling me.
Like laundry.
And I could have told. Even if I lied, I could have said, yeah, you know, he had the gun, he gave me the gun, he fired the gun, he did it like this, and he aimed like that.
He would have been the bigger cat.
Just let me about it. That's what they wanted.
Right.
I went to the DA called me in for a proffer, and you asked me, so, what happened? I was like, I was defending myself. So what was Combs doing? I didn't see what he was doing. Did Combs have a gun? I don't know. I didn't see him with a gun. Did Combs fire? I didn't see him. You're wasting my time. Get out of here. 13 years. That's the plea deal I'm gonna give you. But you gotta cooperate. I could have cooperated with the district attorney, and I didn't. He owes me, he's a billionaire. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have been a billionaire. If I would have cooperated with the district attorney, he'd have went to jail, and heaven knows what would have happened to his career, right? So, that's worth at least a couple $1 million out of the $1 billion that you're worth. And interestingly enough, one of the things that Cassie alleges in her lawsuit is that when, he would assault her, then he would, take her on shopping sprees. And so I saw that in Paris. He spent like $500,000 like in one day shopping for her. I was actually living in Israel at the time. Mm-hmm. And, but I felt he owed me something. And so it's like, he probably gave me like 50 racks. And I'm like, you can't be serious. Like, that's 10 years, 50 racks. Like, oh man.
So that whole 10 years you were in jail, he didn't reach out to you at all?
He came to see me once, and I think I tried to spit in his face.
Okay.
In Rikers Island. So
that's probably why he didn't come back. Yeah. I
didn't want him to come back. I didn't even want him to come see me. I didn't even know he was coming to see me. They just brought me down in the lawyer's office, and
So you did it angry.
On the internet, a lot of talk is about your accent.
If I'm in Belize, how am I gonna talk like this?
It makes no sense.
But I grew up in Brooklyn. But I can't talk Brooklyn and Belize.
Right.
Like right now, if I start talking Belize, so when I'm young, this the way I'm gonna do, and this the how I get started, you're gonna be like, those people out there in America won't even understand what I'm saying. But it's not code switching. That they provide a housing solution in which the Belizean people can have access. So when I'm talking in Belize, I'm talking to the Belizean people. I'm not talking to y'all. If y'all see it, y'all see it. But my life is in Belize. Like, I don't.
No, that don't make no sense.
I'd love to see more capitalization so more Belizeans can have a pathway to affordable housing. No one was even close to Bad Boy Records at that time. I was a fall guy. I was the sacrificial lamb. You have a multi-million-dollar corporation, $100 million generating hundreds of millions of dollars for BMG. And so it was either I go to jail or Diddy, who was the CEO and, the revenue generator for the corporation. It wasn't as if we were in the club and we were acting bad or we were looking for trouble. People were aggressing. People said that, I'm gonna kill you. Someone drew a weapon and I was defending myself. So if Diddy did fire a weapon, it would have been in that context. So I'm not here to be, the person trying to crucify anyone. As I explained that to you, Diddy didn't do that for me at trial. He was like, oh, it was Shine. Interestingly enough, the victim says today that Diddy shot her, but back then, she said, it was ambiguous. It was, they both started firing. So the entire 99, I was in the gym, I was in the studio, and that's how we made Bad Boy.
The song Bad Boy, guys, the song Bad Boy.
Bad Boy. We were in the Hamptons, and he gave me the Easy LP beat. Boom, boom. And he's like, yo, if you could kill this, you gone. And he's like, who's the guy that goes, and I'm like, Barrington Levy. And he's like, yeah, we gonna put him on there. Write the second verse. The second verse is Puff's verse. Mink's dragging on the floor, because he's the mink guy, the fur guy. Mink's dragging on the floor, banging on. There were questions about Shine until that Bad Boy song dropped. And when that Bad Boy song dropped, the music industry shook. Everybody was like, okay, all right, yeah, this is serious. And forgiveness is a part of that. I can't carry
23 years ago with me in a negative way.
Yeah.
I carried 23 years ago
Deep shit right there.
with me all the good from 23 years.
That's
the
deep
bad,
shit.
I take the wisdom out of it, I take the lessons out of it, and I use it for the next 23 years, how I'm gonna master this chessboard.
That's hard.
Right?
That's hard.
From that.
Right.
So his response shouldn't be expected to be my response. And then when your lawyers and maybe other people are misleading you and misguiding you, I think that's how everything, fell apart. And he said that to me.
Right. It's beautiful.
He said, man, I'm sorry, man. I should have never listened to those lawyers.
That's real.
And, I forgave him.
That's real.
But it was traumatic.
Yeah, it still
So I
stings.
would forgive him, and then you might hear me a few months later.
Yeah.
Still
stings.
going in on him.
Yeah.
But again, that was over a decade ago.
Right.
And I was in a different space then. And today, I'm all about how I'm going to impact the world, building relationships, stage of bitterness.
You're human.
But in retrospect, I blame it more on the lawyers that were advising him
To separate the case.
than him. Because his lawyers were there, to secure a not guilty verdict by any means.
Right.
He's a corporation, $100 million corporation. And, they look at me as the enemy. Now, this is
you didn't feel like the
this
enemy,
is
did
how
you?
many years ago? This is 20-some years
Yeah,
ago.
20-something years
So
ago.
Puff is still young, relatively.
What is it, 1999?
1999,
Okay.
2000.
Damn.
So he's
wow.
he's much younger then, and it's a lot of pressure. He's about to lose everything. I'm about to lose everything.
Right.
I'm from that though,
Right.
right? Diddy is a musician. He's a great musician, great executive, great entertainer, but he wasn't.
You have a story that you could be bitter, man. Like, hold on, let me finish.
Yeah.
Like, for lack of a better term, like we said earlier, your charge was actually kind of defending your boss.
It was absolutely defending.
So in any other
my
world,
not just my boss, my brother.
your brother.
Yeah.
So in any other world, when you do that, you defend your brother, who is your boss, you actually get rewarded for that. There's no downfall to that when it's a real world. But this is the industry. You had to quickly learn that.
Yeah.
Because you really had to go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
Out of that incident.
You know what happened with Diddy, with Brother Love? I don't really blame that on him now
Right.
as much as I did then, because I did go through a... He said terrible things about Jay-Z, he said terrible things about Tupac, so it doesn't surprise me.
So you think it's just part of the game?
No, we gotta go.
Well, what's next for you, Shine? What's next for you?
Listen to the lost tapes. We all can't be lying. What did Nas say? He didn't like how Diddy did Shine with different lawyers. So, but Funk Flex, as I said, he said terrible things about Tupac, terrible things about Jay-Z. So, he brought audiences to my documentary. So thanks for the promotion.
I love that for you. You look fantastic. Have a great day.
Let's reminisce that night we was at Andre Harrell's house, and I told you that this cat was coming to kill us or try to get at us that night. I told you I had intel, but you didn't want to hear it. Let's reminisce the fact I told our driver, Kenny, run this next 3 lights. Run the light, Kenny. Kenny ran the light, Big stopped at the light. Big get killed. Wasn't meant for him, bruh. Let's reminisce. Let's reminisce when you told Wolf's mother right after he died that you didn't owe him no $300,000, and he had delusions of grandeur, and all he wanted to do was smoke weed. Let's even go deeper than that, bruh. Let's reminisce how you had people on the security to testify against Sean. You a rat. I ain't gonna even put you in a category as a rat, dog. You worse than what your father was.